Hi everybody. In this short video we're going to talk about how to resolve compiler errors. So in the previous video we had written code for a startup sequence that at the end of the video we had compiled, and there were no errors because down in the compiler errors section of Robot C it told us that our file compiled correctly on October 5th at 11:11 without any errors. Since we did that video, I went back in and put in some deliberate errors to show you what happens if it does not compile correctly, and to talk briefly about how to fix those errors. So the first error I put in is here. If you note up top, we had called or named our red LED lowercase r, capital L, capital E, capital D. Up here you can see that. On line 13, I replaced that with lowercase letters so that it is not using the same identifier as what's up above. That's an issue for the compiler, and it'll throw us an error in a second when we try to use that. In the second section of the code where we were blinking the LEDs, I deliberately spelled sensor value wrong, so now instead of saying sensor value, it says sensor value. So that should throw a compiler error. And then down at the bottom, under the motor code, here on line 48, I opened a square bracket and typed out left motor the way it should appear, but then I closed that section of code with a closing parenthesis instead of a closing square bracket. So if I made some errors like that and then I click compile, the compiler throws some errors. If you look down here at the bottom in the compiler errors section, it throws a whole lot of red at me. And it tells you exactly what line the error is on. So line 13 is just a warning that says it's substituting for us the variable lowercase r, capital L, capital E, capital D for what we typed using all lowercase letters. So it tries to be smart and says, you know, you typed all lowercase letters, RLED. I think you meant this with a lowercase r, then capital E, capital L, capital E, capital D. I can just replace that for you in the code, and that's really nice of it, but really in order to be thorough with your coding, you should go back up to line 13 and replace that error with the correct identifier. So I went up to line 13 here and I just did that. So that's corrected. Then if I look at line 35, that's my next error, and this is an actual error, so this will not compile or run. It says error undefined variable sensor value. So I need to scroll down to line 35, find my spelling error, and fix that. Okay, then also on line 48 is our last error. So here it shows line 48 error. It's missing the square parentheses or the square brackets. On 48, there it is. So I delete the parenthesis, put in a closing square bracket, and then I can try to compile again. And when I compile again, now I've resolved all those errors, the code compiles and would be downloadable to the robot, and the robot would be able to run it and run it correctly. So you would save this code at that point and you could download to the robot. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, everybody.